In this video, we learn how to find the domain and the range of a function. Basically, there are two ways to find the domain and the range. First way is graphically, which will be explained in this video. Second way is algebraically, which will be explained in the next video. This is our graph. We always find the domain on x-axis. We look at the most left point on x-axis and with the curve, and the rightmost point on the x-axis with the curve. Okay, this is the domain. The range is the lowest value or the lowest point on y-axis with the curve, and the highest point on y-axis with the curve. This is the range. Let's see some examples. We have to consider those steps for domain to find the domain and those steps to find the range. First step is we have to find extremes, meaning we have to identify the leftmost and rightmost points where the graph starts and ends. So this is leftmost and this is rightmost on x-axis. Okay, so if we draw one line from here, you see that leftmost is -5, and here rightmost is of our curve here graph is 3. So our domain is from -5 included until 3 included, meaning -4 included, -3, -2, -1. Okay, instead of writing all those numbers, we say that our domain is from -5 until 3. Both of them are included. Why? Because here we have a filled point. This means that it is included. Okay. Second step, here sometimes you have this case and sometimes not. Like our case, we didn't have it. This means not exclusions. Identify any gaps or holes or vertical asymptotes where the graph is not defined. In the next examples, we will see that sometimes you have a curve coming from here and it does not continue one other part, like you have a gap here and the other part of the graph continues from here. Okay, we will see it. Now, to find the range, find extremes also, but on y-axis. Okay, identify the lowest and highest points. So we identify lowest and highest points where the graph starts and ends. Okay, so the lowest point is of our graph curve is -2. Okay, and the highest part is 2. Okay, now our range is from -2 included until 2 included. Okay, let's see this example. Find the domain and range of the following function. Just note that here interval notations we use parentheses for values that are not included, open intervals, and brackets, square brackets, for values that are included, closed intervals. And we already explained that in the last video also. So what we do first is we check the leftmost and rightmost on x-axis. Okay, so the leftmost is -5 and we see that our curve increase and then it decreases and it stops at 1. So our domain is from -5 until 1, but we see that here this point is included because it is a filled circle. This means it is included. That's why we put from -5 included until 1 excluded. Okay, because here you don't have, this is non-filled circle. Okay, now coming to the range, we check the lowest point here. It is -3 with y-axis, and here the extreme point that or maximum point our curve achieved, it is at this point, meaning it is 4. Okay, That's why our range is from minus 3 until 4. Both of them are included. Okay? Let's see this third example. Find the domain and the range. So we see that our graph, our curve, comes from minus infinity and then it continues to plus infinity. This means that our domain is from minus infinity to plus infinity, and the range also is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay? Let's see this fourth example. Find the domain and the range. So in this example here, we see that we have a gap between this curve and this curve. Okay? So what we'll do is, we do the same here. We check here, this is the leftmost point on x-axis, it is minus 5. Okay? And this is here, the rightmost point is 5. So our domain is from minus 5 excluded until 5 included. Maybe you are thinking about this point here. This is excluded here and this is included. Which one to choose? We always choose the included. Okay? Since here it is excluded, this does not make any problem because here it is included. That's why we take the whole domain. Okay? We take from minus 5 until 5. All points are included. Okay? Coming to the range, this is the lowest point, minus 3. Okay? And the highest point is 4. But we have a gap here. We have to consider that. Okay? That's why our range is from minus 3 until minus 2, minus 3 excluded until minus 2 included, union, okay, from 1 to 4, 1 is excluded, 4 is included. From 1 to 4, 1 is excluded, we see, and 4 is included. Okay? Coming to the fifth example, find the domain and the range. So this equation represents this curve. Okay? X squared is this curve. Okay? Minus 2 is at this point on y-axis. So our domain is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Why? Because our curve is coming from minus infinity on x-axis, and you see it stops at minus 2 and it continues to increase now. First it decrease, then it increase and it continues to plus infinity. That's why our domain is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now the range is our domain, our curve comes from minus infinity and stops there. That's why our range is from minus 2 included and it continues to infinity. Okay? In the coming videos, we will talk about the type of curves when you have x to the power 3 or for logarithmic curve. We'll talk about them in more details. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video.